Hello students, I'm Dr. Seema Singh and you're watching my channel Bonding with Chemistry. In today's video, I'll start with chapter 1, Matter in our Surroundings. Here, I'll help you learn what is matter and how it is classified. Thereafter, with the help of activities, we'll understand the physical nature of matter. I'll reinforce what we have learned by answering relevant questions. Basic introduction to chemistry chapter has been provided in my previous video, whose link is provided on top of this video as well as in the description box below. In my next video, that is my upcoming video, I'll explain the characteristics of particles of matter. So, if you have yet not subscribed to my channel, kindly do so now. And also remember to hit the bell icon for receiving latest notifications. So, my dear students, let's begin the chapter by reading its title. Matter in our surroundings. By surroundings, we mean the area around us or our environment. Everything around us makes our surrounding. So, what is matter? If you look around yourself, you will see a large number of things. For instance, books, pen, pencil, chair, table, fan, plants, stars, moon, the air we breathe, the food we eat, the water we drink, the clothes we wear, etc. etc. All these things, living as well as non living, are said to be matter. Some of the examples which I just said are shown here in the pictures. In fact, everything in this universe is said to be matter. So, can you now draw similarity between you and a pen or a table? Yes, we all are made up of matter, or we are all matter. Coming to the definition of matter, anything that has mass and occupies space, that is volume, is said to be matter. Now, mass is the amount of matter that makes up an object. It is measured in SI units called kilograms, which can be abbreviated as kg. Volume is the three-dimensional space that an object occupies and is measured in SI unit called as cubic meter. So this meter, the abbreviation is m, small m, and you write 3 here. That's cubic meter. Remember, the SI unit of volume is not liter. This is incorrect. It is cubic meter. Now, when we know what is matter, let us also learn what is not matter. In fact, every day we also come across phenomena that either don't have mass or don't take up space. They are called as non-matter. Basically, any type of energy, for example, sound, light, heat. Now, these are the form of energy. Or any abstract concept is an example of something that is not matter. By abstract, I mean things that exist only in thoughts or as an idea but are not present physically to be measured. Let me explain this with the help of examples. You might have used the statement or might have heard, I hate that person very much. Well, students, hate is a negative word. Let me substitute it with love. I love that person very much. But how much is that very much? Can you measure that in kilogram? Like, I love her 2 kilogram or I love her 20 kg. No, it is just an abstract concept. It's a feeling. Similarly, you might have heard people say, those thoughts keep occupying my brain. Ever heard people say that those thoughts occupy 2 cubic meter of my brain space? No, because again, it is an abstract concept. Some examples of non-matter are feelings like love, hate, cold, anger. Even your dreams, memories, thoughts, they're all examples of non-matter. So next time, if you have a doubt about a thing being a matter or not, ask yourself two questions. One, whether what you observe has mass, and two, whether that thing takes up space. If you get a yes for both your questions, it is a matter, else a non-matter. Now, when it is clear what is matter and what is not matter, let us take up a question to test our knowledge of matter. The question is an in-text question from NCERT and says, which of the following are matter? So here you're provided a list of things and you have to tell which of them belong to matter. I'm sure you'll be able to answer this question easily. That is, you'll be able to tell chair, Almonds, that means your badam. Cold drink, they are matter which you can easily classify. Love, hate, thought, cold. As I just explained, they are simply feelings, they are abstract, so they are not matter. Here I would like to clear two things. One, difference between smell and smell of perfume. Simply smell, that is, the sense of smell is not considered a matter. It is abstract, it cannot be measured. Whereas the smell of any substance, say perfume in this case, or an incense stick, that is your agarbatti, is the gaseous or vapor form of that substance, which our nose, that is the olfactory system, can easily detect even at very low concentration. Hence, smell of perfume is a matter. The second thing is air. Although we cannot see air, but we can feel it. We cannot survive without breathing air. Now, air is a matter because it has mass as well as volume. We can prove that air exists and is a matter by simply blowing a balloon. On filling air in balloon, its size increases, which suggests air occupies space, and the mass of that inflated balloon also increases. Thus, air is a matter. And you would study in subsequent videos that pure air is an example of homogeneous mixture. So students, please make a note of the above 2 points. Moving on to the classification of matter. Matter can be classified according to ancient or classical concept and modern concept. According to the first concept, early Indian philosophers believed that matter or everything, living or non living, was made up of five basic elements whom they called Panch Tattva. These five elements were earth, water, fire, air, and sky. The same was believed by the Greek philosophers of that time. However, modern day scientists have classified matter into two types, one on the basis of physical nature or state, and the second as per the chemical nature of matter. Further, according to physical nature, matter is classified into three states, solid, liquid, gas. Dear students, note that with time, more states of matters have evolved. For instance, plasma, Bose-Einstein condensate, quark-gluon plasma, and Fermi ionic condensate. For your class level, you have to know these in detail. The remaining ones, that means which are mentioned in the note, I'll explain in a separate video only to enhance your knowledge. Now, on the basis of chemical constitution or chemical nature or properties, matter is classified into pure substances and mixtures, which are further classified into elements and compounds in case of substances and homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture in case of the heading mixtures. We are going to study about this classification in this chapter, that is chapter 1, and this classification will be taken up in chapter 2. From examination point of view, modern concept is what you need to remember. Let us now understand the physical nature of matter. Actually, there were two school of thoughts or two opinion or you can say two ways of thinking regarding the nature of matter. One group of scientists believed matter to be continuous in nature. By continuous we mean one complete single unbroken form like this. It is one complete piece which has no break. For example, a log or a block of wood. You can see here that it is present as a single unbroken continuous form. You cannot see it present as small distinct particles. On the other hand, the other school of thought treated matter to be particulate in nature, that is, made up of particles. For example, sand. You can see here it consists of very small discrete particles. If you observe sand clearly, you'll be able to see small sand particles very clearly, very distinctly. Now let us understand the exact nature of matter, whether continuous or particulate with the help of a simple activity. In fact, you can easily perform this activity at home. The activity is to establish the physical nature of matter. For this, we take a glass, preferably transparent, and fill half of it with water. In laboratory, you can take a glass beaker and fill it with water. Next, we mark the level of water. With the help of a marker, you can do that. Now we take either a small amount of salt or sugar. So instead of salt, you can also take sugar and dissolve it in this water by stirring with a spoon or a glass rod. What do we observe? We observe that the sugar or the salt disappears and the level of water does not show any change. To understand these observations, let us consider salt and water to be made up of particles. Remember, these particles are not visible with naked eye. You have those particles here. So if I magnify or enlarge these particles like this, so these blue show the water particles and the white one are salt or sugar particles. So we see that the salt or the sugar particles have occupied the empty spaces between the water particles and hence no change in the water level is witnessed. Had water and salt been continuous in nature like this, so this is one complete block of water continuous in nature, the salt would lay on water and the water level would have increased. So the salt would lie like this and this water level which was here would have increased or risen to here. Thus these observation and hence the activity illustrates or shows that matter is made up of particles. Now let us perform another activity to see how small these particles of matter are. For this, we take 2 to 3 crystals of potassium permanganate. So here, these crystals you can see are of potassium permanganate, which has the formula KMnO4. Don't worry, as of now, you need not learn the formula. You will find it as a common chemical in your science laboratories. Also, it is commonly used as disinfectant to clean water tanks at homes, especially villages, under the name of Lal Dawa. You must have heard about this. Lal Dawa. Alright. These crystals, which are dark purple or purplish black in color, when dissolved in water, give light pink to dark purple solution depending upon the quantity which is added. If you're going to add more quantity, the color will be in purple shade. If you add a very small quantity, it will be in pink shade. Since it produces light pink color in water, it is called as Lal Dawa or Lal Dawai also. All this was for your extra knowledge. Coming back to the activity, with the help of glass rod, you're supposed to dissolve these crystals into 100 ml of water taken in a beaker. So this is 100 ml of water and you're going to dissolve it with the help of glass rod. You will see that the solution turns dark pink in color. I'm going to label this as beaker A. Now you're going to take another beaker. Let me label it as B and take 90 ml of clear water into it and then transfer 10 ml of solution A. This is the test tube. With the help of test tube, you're supposed to transfer 10 ml of A into B. Stir it with glass rod and you will see that the solution turns pink again. Similarly, you will take a beaker C, again 90 ml of clear water and then 10 ml of solution B you're supposed to transfer in C. Study with the help of glass rod and you see solution still is pink in color. This is known as the process of dilution. You keep repeating this process of dilution 5 to 8 times. Here I am showing the dilution process 6 times and I'm going to mark or label the beakers as D, E, F and G. Okay, you can continue it further also. Thereafter, you're supposed to note down your observation. You will observe that the water in the last dilution, here it is in beaker G, is still colored, although the intensity of pink color has reduced. So we see that just a tiny crystal of potassium permanganate has the capacity to color such large volume of water. This is because in each crystals there must be millions of tiny particles of potassium permanganate that keep on dividing into smaller and smaller particles and imparting colors. Dear students, remember these particles are so small that they are not visible to naked unaided eyes. My dear students, you can also carry out the same activity with the liquid Dettol antiseptic. But there, instead of retention of color, you would observe that the smell of Dettol is retained or can be detected even after several dilution. Thus, this activity illustrates or shows that the particles that make up matter are extremely small or tiny in nature. I'm sure you will be in a position to answer the following question, which says, with the help of an activity, explain A. Matter is made up of particles, and B. The particles of matter are extremely small. With this, I come to the end of this video. In case you like my video, do please give it a thumbs up. In my next video, I'll take up the characteristics or properties of particles of matter. So do subscribe to my channel. Above all, if you think this video can help a learner perform better, do please share. Thanks for watching, and until we meet next, take care and stay bonded, my dear learners.